In this video, we're going to discuss the difference between scarcity and poverty, because scarcity and poverty are not the same thing. These two concepts are not equivalent. So if you remember, the fundamental economic problem is that people have unlimited wants and desires. But unfortunately, in the world that we live in, there are limited resources available to fulfill those wants, right? There's limited natural resources, there's limited land and so forth. There's only so much, there's finite resources that are available to satisfy all of people's wants. And so we say that we have a scarcity issue, we have a scarcity problem, and that's scarcity refers to this inability to fulfill all these wants and desires that people have. Resources such as land are scarce. Now, take an issue of energy, for example, if we think about electricity, air conditioning, things like that, and let's say that you wanted everybody in the world, everybody throughout the world, even in the most rural, remote regions, to be able to have access to air conditioning, to cheap energy for electricity and so forth, right? And we're striving toward that. But the bottom line is there's limited resources available to meet all those wants. Even if you think, well, hey, we'll use solar power, right? We'll use solar power and then we've just got an unlimited supply of energy from the sun, right? But then there's the question of solar panels, right? How are we going to provide solar panels to everyone in the world? Hopefully one day we might be able to do that. But right now, with the resources we have, they're limited, and the more resources we use to make solar panels, the fewer resources available to make other things, right? So we've got this world with limited resources. There's only so many resources to go around. It's scarce, a world of scarce resources. Now, as of the example I just mentioned, you might be thinking, well, this has to do with poverty, because it's really a question of these people in these rural, remote regions, they don't have the money to acquire, to pay for electricity, for energy, or to pay for air conditioning. And in a lot of cases, those people may be living in extreme poverty. And so really, you might be thinking, this is really just a question of, that we're talking about poverty, and that scarcity and poverty are the same thing, because, you know, people in wealthy nations, maybe you think they don't face scarcity, and it's really people who are poor or below a certain income threshold, that they are the ones facing scarcity. And I want to kind of dispel that notion and show you that even wealthy people, or just people in general, can face scarcity. So let's just say that you're really, really wealthy. You have billions and billions of dollars, and you want to become the world's greatest guitar player, but you also want to be the world's greatest tennis player and the world's greatest chess player. You're very, very ambitious. And you also, in your spare time, you happen to manage a daycare center, right? So you're running around, you've got all these children that you're managing in the daycare center. Meanwhile, you're trying to learn how to play guitar and play chess and stuff on a computer or something. So you're doing all these different things. And no matter how wealthy you are, no matter how much money, even if you could hire a private tutor to tutor you, to get Gary Kasparov to help you learn how to play chess, and you know, famous guitar player to help you learn play guitar and so forth, the bottom line is there's only 24 hours in a day. You only have so much time available. So we could say that you face a scarcity of time. Right? So even though you might be wealthy and have billions and billions of dollars, you only have a limited amount of time, right? So you have a scarce amount of time. There's just so much you're not going to live forever, right? If you're going to live forever, maybe you could go and do all of these things. But because you face a scarcity of time, you have to make trade-offs. You have to decide, okay, if I'm going to spend an hour practicing guitar, that's an hour that I cannot spend practicing tennis or chess or maybe managing the daycare center. And we're going to talk about trade-offs in economics in the videos to come.